Jim Stickley, President and CEO of Mahalo Banking, and Denny Howell. Thanks for joining me. And first of all, congrats. You guys and your company is a winner of our Innovator of the Year award for Freshest Fintech. So we're going to dive into why we think you guys definitely deserve this award. You're
Cool.
fresh and you're doing a lot of things in the innovation front. So I want to kind of hear a little bit about that today. So I want to just jump straight into that. What new solutions have you guys brought to the fintech market within the last 2 to 3 years? And then what's the potential for those products and services?
Sure. Denny, why don't you go ahead and start with like neurodiversity? I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we've done is, we've built complete neurodiversity into our application. And I think that's really important for a couple of reasons. One, you see credit unions and just businesses in general really concentrating on their DEI, their diversity, equality and inclusion statements and kind of what they do as an organization. And what we're really trying to do is just help these credit unions be truly member-centric and offer the 20% of their members that really don't have a good experience using their app because they're colorblind, they suffer from dyslexia, they have ADD or ADHD, autism, all of those things. We're really solving for those solutions to make it easier for those members to kind of really get in, use the platform, and really interact with their credit union.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was one of those things where we were looking, obviously digital banking. There's the standard things. Hey, can I see my account balance? Can I transfer money? Can I do wires? Like, there's all the basics. And we went, okay, well, clearly we're going to address the basics just like everybody else is. So we tried to look at it and go, okay, what is not being addressed? What is something that's out there that has just completely been forgotten? And it started almost by accident with, it turns out, Denny's colorblind. And that's kind of how this whole thing rolled up. Is one day we were demoing some stuff in one of our things, and Denny was looking at it and he's like, I don't see what you guys are seeing. And what was confusing to us at first was we were designed at that time for what met ADA compliance for colorblind, where they go, oh, it's either dark or light, contrast. Mm-hmm. But it turns out there's a ton of different forms of colorblindness. It's not just one. It's not just, oh, you're colorblind and this is what it is. There's a ton. And so Denny had a specific one where even though we were in compliance, he still couldn't see it. And it kind of like was this aha moment where we went, wait a minute, what does that mean? And so we started researching, we discovered there was all of these. So now I think we support all of them, which is like 16 or 17 different versions of colorblindness. And so we integrated those in. And that kind of like was like this like light bulb moment where we went, okay, if there's that for Denny, what else have we just not seen? What's the world kind of ignored? And so we started going out like dyslexia. I mean, dyslexia is one of these things where when you're trying to read, it can be very difficult. And they make fonts specifically designed so if you're dyslexic, you can still read it perfectly, and it makes it very easy. And we're like, that should just be part of our solution, that you can just turn that on, turn that off. And then we just kept going down the path. Epilepsy. Epilepsy is one of these things where if you have epilepsy, you have to always be cautious about things because, like flashing lights, people know those types of things can cause problems. But what they don't realize is animation and web pages can also trigger it. And so we looked and went, okay, well, there's obviously nowadays everybody wants animation because it makes it seem way more engaging when you're in these websites. So we said, well, why don't we just make it to where all of the members of our credit unions can go in and just click it off, and they just click one button, and now automation or animation is turned off for the entire site. And it just simple things that we did throughout, always kept going and going and going. And it just opened up this whole world. And we realized by the time we were done, we started doing percentages. You go, okay, like 15% of Americans are colorblind. This percentage of Americans have this percentage. And it's amazing how much of a membership base was being excluded in one way or another. And that's what we decided we were going to really focus on, is to make a difference there.
Yep. That's fascinating. And I love the fact that it began literally by seeing something through someone else's eyes that you
literally
have noticed.
Yeah.
Here, right? And your own team.
That was so important. So that's, I guess, one of the big things that's obviously it's getting a lot of publicity right now because it is such a game changer. And it is, when credit unions say we're member centric, well, everybody knows the branch is kind of dying. Everything's moving online. Everybody's moving to their phones. How are you going to be member centric if your member can't use the mobile solution that you're providing them? And so that's where we started looking at going, we need to make sure that they can truly be member centric. So that's one. Another huge thing that we're doing right now, and I don't know if it'll be seen as exciting. It's exciting for us. Are you familiar with like credential stuffing? Have you heard this term?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it's the bane of every financial institution's existence
Sure.
right now. And so they come up with all these different ways. You can hire like these third-party companies that will do bot scores. So they try to figure out, are you a human being or are you some sort of automated bot? And then based on what they think you are, they either block you from having access to the site or to the mobile device, or they don't. And that worked up until AI. And AI over the past year has just wreaked havoc on that. And so now we see, even when through these solutions that are out there, that bot scores are coming in as humans now. Like literally there's just, they're humans as far as the systems are concerned. So you go, okay, so then we've seen a lot of people going, well, to solve the problem, we'll put CAPTCHAs on everything. And as you know, CAPTCHAs are just a nightmare. It's the click here to say I'm not a robot. And then you get the things that pop up and say like, pick the bicycle. And you're like, well, there's a part of a bicycle. Do I click that one, or part of a bridge? And you just get so irritated. So those are driving people crazy. And then just recently, there was a great study that came out that showed AI can pass every CAPTCHA that's been released. So CAPTCHAs can't solve the problem. So we were like, all right. So my background is cybersecurity. It's kind of my near and dear thing to me. We spent a lot of time in research to figure out a way around not needing CAPTCHAs, not needing to do bot scores. And we came up with a new technology where basically there will be no more credential stuffing for at least our partners going forward. It literally is impossible, and yet there's no member impact. So we're really excited. That's just launching right now. And that's, I think, going to be a pretty big game changer because it eliminates that threat completely for all of our customers' members. So we're excited about that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, that's an obvious benefit in today's climate, which is, massively insecure and fraught with problems. So pretty cool that you guys are kind of you're on the forefront of that. You're not sitting back saying, how can we just graft in some kind of thing like a CAPTCHA or whatever, but let's actually develop something that really works.
Yeah, and we don't want it, like, that's just our company. And like, we realize we're not as big as some of these, publicly traded companies that we compete against. So we're clearly have to do things that are being innovative, that are just thinking outside of just another Me Too. We want to be doing things that actually makes us have benefit to people. And it's not just, oh, we put a prettier color, we put up a prettier screen. Like, all right, well, we're trying to actually do things that change the game.
I love that. That's a great segue, I think, into my next question, which is really, and I know you guys could go on and on probably about your different solutions, but how is your organization, how's Mahalo engaging with the wider fintech sector and supporting its growth and development? And obviously that piece that you just mentioned, I think is probably part of that.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm talking a lot. Denny, I'll let you kick this one off.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we built our platform for us to really engage in all these fintechs, right? And really work with other fintech sectors out there. A good example is Glia. Glia provides credit unions the ability to kind of interact with their members at all times through their mobile device, through online banking, through video, through screen sharing. And, we just have, a very easy, easily built system that kind of just really allows those integrations to kind of take place and kind of really build more, fintech partnerships and kind of bring more to the table for those credit unions. Again, designed in that way so we can continue to support all these fintechs regardless of, when they come up, what their platform is or what those products are that they have.
And I think that's the key is it's, Glia is a great example. It's any credit, and when they come to us and they say, hey, we want to work with X, we go, hell yeah, we want to work with them too. Let's figure out how we do that and we get them integrated. So we try to be, we are. I mean, we're completely open. We work with any fintech that a credit union is bringing in. We're down to clown. We want to play with them. Good
deal. Obviously, we're all about connectivity. I mean, it's in our name, so we love that.
Yeah.
that's speaking our language right there.
It's pretty important.
What other kind of customer needs and requirements are you guys meeting that you feel like just haven't been met before, that kind of no one else maybe in the market is really paying that much attention to?
So we have credit unions and they have certain membership bases, and they might have in that base, let's say that they deal with a lot of unions. They can actually theme the design so that when the union member logs in, it's the color scheme of that particular union tied into their online banking solution. So those are the types of things that we try to think of to make it unique and a unique experience that feels welcoming to everybody, and that they feel like it somehow ties into them. So when they log in from that particular union, in this case, they go, oh my gosh, there's our colors. That's part of us. Or if it's businesses they work with, they can have their business colors that are tied back in, or whatever it happens to be. So again, it's trying to be unique and thinking about that member experience. Again, Denny, I kick it back.
Yeah,
over.
I think, we talk about our enhancement committee, but one thing I think is important is simplicity as well, right? We build a lot of things, and Jim said, digital banking is commodity, but we are feature rich. But, when you look at the neurodiversity aspect of the ADD, ADHD, you still have to be simplistic in how you build those things and make it easier for those people to use. But getting back to the enhancement committee, we built an entire enhancement process for our credit unions, and it's no longer they're putting in tickets and when do they get done, how do they get done. We have our entire credit unions, they all have a voice in what we build. We have a certain amount of things that we know that we will build multiple times per year when they vote on these things, and we take their top vote getters, and those immediately get put in our roadmap and start being put into that platform for our credit unions. So we listen, and I think that's an important thing is, it's real easy to kind of build things yourself and build them in a silo. But when you're listening to your credit union partners and you're building what they need, it helps out a lot. It really enriches the platform.
Yeah. And we try to make that equal because you want to hear what they want. You want to give them what they want. And at the same time, we also try to be thinking about the things they haven't thought of. And we try to do those kind of in an equal level so that everybody feels like they're getting what they want.
Excellent. I love the fact that it's super highly customized so that someone, like you were talking about, someone really feels welcome. They really feel like they're not just getting slapped with a, one size fits all kind of model, but you guys have really thought about the unique member needs and different scenarios for that.
That's the world we're in. Everybody wants to be special. Everybody wants to be singled out in some way and treated as though they're an individual now. It's gone are the days where you just say, hey, here's a black and white screen and take it or leave it. Like now you've got to give people everything that they feel they're entitled to, or they'll go somewhere else. It's not like there isn't another credit union one block over, there's always that next place they can go to. So you've got to meet their needs or people will walk quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, kind of as a closeout question, if you had any particular advice for fintechs or credit unions, but you may have just answered the question. I don't know if you have anything additional to add, but anyone else just seeking to kind of be on the forefront of innovation and to stay competitive and to just make sure they're meeting members' needs.
Yeah, Denny, I'll start for you first.
Yeah, I was going to say, one other thing I'll say is, credit unions spend a lot of time, a lot of money and effort building their brand like any other organization does. We bring that brand to life for those credit unions, their custom fonts, their custom icon sets that, they can really do that. Jim talked about those animations before, and those animations can be built in their own logo, their own brand style. So again, allowing that credit union to go to their member and not only be there for them, but truly bring their brand to life and put it out there. Again, they spend a lot of money and a lot of time and effort to really build that. They need to be able to show it.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's just at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, the digital world is the future of all banking. Branches will have some level of position in the future, but it's not going to be like today. Those people are aging out, and it's the young people coming in, and the young people are not going to go to a branch. They're not. They want to use their phone. They want to have it be quick. They want to have it be easy, and they want to have it be designed for them. And that's our goal.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see what else Mahalo Banking has, to come out in the future, especially since you're holding some cards close to your chest there. So as you should. So anyway, congrats again, guys, on the award. I think it's well deserved. Like I said, can't wait to see what else you guys are rolling out in the near future. And again, Innovator of the Year, Freshest Fintech.
Awesome. We appreciate it.